Once again, here's Rob Welling.
Yes, indeed, live in Hollywood tonight on a warm, warm night, along with Big Andy E. and Say Rose. And our first guest tonight has a storied career. Andy, wasn't that the term you used, storied?
I think I said critically acclaimed and storied.
Which story?
Numerous.
I'm confused. Which story are you talking about?
I think he has more credits than you and I combined times 12.
This guy is credits plus. The Cosby Show.
Yes.
The John Larroquette Show.
Yes. Herman's Head.
Yeah. Hey, say hi to the one and only David Lansberg.
Oh, my goodness.
Hello.
Thank you. Please.
Welcome to Hollywood Headliners.
Oh, thank you.
You big frickin' headliner, you. This is cool.
This is so cool. Thank you for having me on. It's an absolute pleasure.
Don't forget to talk in that thing.
Oh, okay. You know, this used to be my stomping grounds.
Well, I was going to ask you, have you ever worked at Sunset Gower Studios?
Okay, Herman's Head. Herman's Head was done right here, stage 19, I think. John Larroquette was done right on the stage across the way. Don't forget, I worked for Whit Thomas. So Whit Thomas was doing Empty Nest and Golden Girls.
Yeah.
So I was involved in that whole.
They were making like, $300 million, $500 million bucks.
That's exactly what they sold it for. They sold Whit Thomas to. Boy, Tony Thomas is going to call me tonight saying, "What are you doing talking about me?" I believe Paul and Tony, they sold with Thomas Harris, because Susan Harris,
That's
of
right.
course,
Mm-hmm.
because they had Soap, Golden Girls, Empty. I mean, they had a lot.
Yeah.
I believe they sold it for somewhere around $300,000. $300 million.
I was going to say, that was a deal.
To Disney.
Okay, now compared to Twitter, that is chump change.
My God,
Who could live on that?
It's Starbucks money.
It is. It's like
ridiculous.
Hey, we saw Colin Farrell last week at Starbucks over here, by the way.
$300 million. We should have a telethon for these people.
Right.
Poor people.
So, but Tony, I got to tell you something. Wonderful people. Paul, Tony, Susan.
Yeah, you've worked with some and Cosby and Larroquette.
Yeah, I've been blessed.
Wow.
Don Rickles when I was on CBO Sharky.
Oh my God.
I was an actor then.
Yeah.
Don't be. I started.
You
mind if I talk about myself?
No. Yeah. Excuse me. And you are? Go ahead.
Were you one of Sharky's guys?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was Skolnick. Someone said, "Who were you on that?"
Yeah.
I said, "I was the little Jewish guy." Who the hell do you think I was? I was the black guy. No, I was.
So you started acting.
Yeah, but that was before that. I was in the. I was drafted. So I'm one of those people. You'll never see my like again.
Drafted into the armed forces.
Yes, I was drafted in the Army in 1966.
Oh yeah, wow.
And went to Vietnam in 1967, 68.
What was your number?
There was no.
This
number.
was before the number.
The
Yeah,
numbers
that's right.
came later.
Numbers
I
came later.
I had a number.
What was your number?
It was high.
Yeah, it's high.
It was
so
very
he
high.
didn't have to go.
No, I didn't.
And someone who got who was born. When were you born? A day.
50s.
Oh, but no, a day, like April.
Oh, October.
October 9th, let's say. Okay.
You just missed my birthday by
Really?
a few weeks.
Wow.
Okay. Well,
Happy birthday.
he didn't have to go, but someone was born a day before him.
Right.
Bam.
He's sitting suddenly in the mud in Vietnam going, and then there's somebody going, "Take that hill," and he's going, "I don't think so."
I'm not feeling it.
What was your gig in Nam?
I was a cryptographer.
Cryptographer?
I worked in the Signal Corps, and in addition to, don't get me wrong, in addition to guard duty and cleaning toilets,
KP, yeah, right.
and KP,
It's what Andy has to do after the
Really?
show every night.
good.
And loving it.
I think everybody should clean a toilet at least.
We
once in a
start at the
while.
bottom on this show, David.
Right. And by the way, they're
And
going
we
to
stay
make me. They made me sweep out the the driveway before I got here.
Well, that's
so-
okay.
Okay.
Hey, that's an honor. John Cryer had to do the windows.
Really?
Yes.
Well, what happened was I said, "Dear God, please get me out of here. If you do," and again, don't forget, drafted is very different than listening.
Yeah.
It's literally being taken off of Jones Beach and put in the jungle. So I said, "Get me out of here, please." And I promise I will do my best not to piss my life away.
Yeah, and what happened?
I went back to college, and I did okay, and I
What do
got
you
out.
You got into show business. What do you mean? You pissed
Well-
your life away?
Well,
Hey, you can't fool us. We're in show business here. If you were in Columbus, Ohio, and
I
you
would
use that,
agree.
they would say, "Oh my God, that's so revering."
I know, but in L.A.,
yeah, it's like what you got in show business.
That's what you did.
You were that
That's
desperate.
what you did with your life.
God forbid.
Well, it was what I could do.
Yeah.
And it was like I worked hard.
What was your entree? Acting, writing? What was your
Acting. Acting. Again, I apologize for those of you who can't see me. If you can, Google David Lansberg.
Yeah, no,
images.
we're watching you on the big screen.
Oh, you're watching me.
Yes.
Then you know what I look like.
In fact, we got. I just went to a close up of you.
And they would hire me when I was a kid. They would, they'd laugh if I would be around a tall girl or something because I'm, 2 feet tall, 5'2".
5'2".
But
Are you really 5'2"?
That's
Yeah,
2
I'm
feet
5
to me.
foot two.
That's my height too.
Wait a minute.
And there's another one right there, and people
Yep.
would laugh.
It's land of munchkins in here.
Well, during the time I was acting, which was the 70s, character guys were in, and I did every commercial you could think of.
Yeah.
I did a Kleenex with a tall woman. I did TWA with Peter Sellers.
Wow.
I worked with Peter Sellers, amazing.
Wow.
I've worked with Alex Karras. I've worked with Tony Randall. I've done commercials. I was the first one of the first to introduce the RCA Select Division. Do you remember that? That was the one. It was the first VCR.
Wow.
And they hired me, my face, to go, wow, what's that? And they go, that's a VCR. I said, no kidding. What's a VCR? And
What is a VCR?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's gone full circle. Yeah.
it's RCA. And,
Yeah.
and I worked for,
Wow.
McDonald's and you name it.
I want to get in. I want to get into the movie here a little
Please.
bit because.
Oh, that's right. I have a movie.
Well, yeah, and what we'd like to do on this show, David, is Hollywood headliners. The mystique of Hollywood is so great, but what we like to do is.
Can I shatter that
Well,
tonight?
that's kind of what we do. I mean, we talk about what it really takes to work here in Hollywood, and what you've done now with all of your success.
I've been very blessed.
and a very blessed career,
Very
but
blessed.
really successful, which means you got to be good. You got to know folks. You
Yes.
got to know everybody.
Yeah.
Now you're in the independent film business.
There's a reason, though.
Tell me about it. And the name of the movie is called Sex Tax.
Yes.
And the byline is, wait a minute, I got a little picture of it.
Oh, God bless you. Good for you.
What is the byline? I don't have
Based
the byline.
on a true
Based on
story.
a true
Based
story.
on a true story.
The government at one time had taken over the Mustang Ranch in Nevada.
Explain what that is, please.
Well, the Mustang Ranch is a brothel, and it was owned by some shady characters, and
I'm
they
shocked.
were caught in shocked. I'm shocked. There's prostitution here, and what they did was they decided the government to audit them and crack down on them, and basically they had to forfeit their business and their property to the government. Now it's a legal business in Nevada. And the government literally was obliged to keep it open as a running business. But needless to say, they didn't. They sent somebody out there. Now, the myth is that they tried to run it. But the truth is they sent somebody out and they said, sell it. Sell everything that has to do with it. Sell everything that's not nailed down. Then sell everything that is nailed down. Then sell the nails.
And get the generals from the Air Force out of there at the same time.
Get this away from the government. So that's what they actually did. But in my story, the star is John Livingston, by the way, is the actor. What a wonderful actor. You've seen him on a ton of television shows.
Yeah.
But he's wonderful. His brother's Ron Livingston.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a wonderful actor. And he's a straight shoot. He's a sweet guy. And that's the guy who goes to run the brothel. And he's going to shut it down. But since he's an auditor, by the way, the star is an auditor. But since he goes and he meets the people there, it's not that he's a fan of prostitution or anything like that, but he's a fan of the law.
Yeah.
And the law said that there is a fiduciary responsibility that the government has when they take something to the taxpayer that they can squeeze the last dime out of it for the taxpayer.
And so that's what his job is.
And that's what his job, and he says, by God, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
So,
and now, Reggie Bell Johnson is his boss. You know, Reggie from Die Hard and Family Matters and everything.
Well, so you got a great cast.
Great cast. Jay Thomas.
How do you? Yeah, Jay Thomas. We love Jay. How do you? So you had to put this whole thing together. You had to put all the financing together
and paper it myself.
No big studios behind you.
No.
I read that you turned your house
My
into
whole house.
the
Right.
the set.
I actually have a very serious heart condition. I have what's called progressive heart disease, and I've had a heart attack, and I've had operations.
Don't have one tonight, okay? Please.
I promise you. I made a point.
I know it's exciting to be here, but
well,
get a hold of yourself.
More than exciting,
man. Get a hold of yourself.
Exciting is a date. This is incredible.
Yeah, right. So you had to shoot it at the house.
Yeah, one of the reasons was it's very difficult for me to especially at that time, to get out and go to studios and do it. So I built a beautiful state-of-the-art studio, not as beautiful as this, but a beautiful state-of-the-art studio.
Yeah, right.
Did all the original music there. There are so many talented people in this city. It is beyond belief. You find talent. Yeah. I hired, again, being in the business did not hurt for a long time.
Right, because you know a lot of folks.
Well, sure.
All right, but still, once you make the thing, now here you are, you're invested, you had to put your own money, your own time, your own effort.
$300,000.
And you're, holy camoly.
You're telling me.
That's what Andy and Say make a week.
Oh, my God.
You should have tapped them.
I lost that in one hand at poker.
You should have tapped them. Okay. Once you've made the movie and you got it all done, now, as an independent film, and there's a lot of those made every year.
Yes,
David,
there are.
How are you going to get it out there into distribution? How does that process happen?
Well, the first thing you need is what's called deliverables, which people don't understand.
No.
A deliverable is at the end of you've shot the movie and you edited it. Okay? Mm-hmm. Well, that's not the end, because you have to do certain things for the distributor. You have to make sure it's in 5.1 sound. You have to make sure that
which is what, by the way, we're not. So you're safe here.
And then again, this is not going in the theaters, I don't think.
No.
Okay.
Not that we know of.
This may not be going anywhere except like Thailand.
That's okay.
And we're number one in Thailand.
I'm big in Yugoslavia, by the way.
Oh, kako moj gazica.
Absolutely. Very good.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good. Some said I was actually the major cause of the ethnic cleansing that was going on. Anyway, be careful.
So,
go up on a tangent.
So you got to do all these deliverables.
Yeah, and that's the sound, and that's the Foley, and that means if you send it to somebody and they want to strip your dialogue, they can strip just the dialogue and put in another language.
If they want to put it into German.
The music stays the same. The Foley stays the same.
Yeah.
So you really have to be, excuse the word, professional.
Yeah. You have what they call split tracks. And that helps
you must have split tracks. Yeah. You must have music that they can, if they don't like, take out, put in.
Yeah.
So when it also has to have, high def. I mean, all the things that you got to do in today's world. You can actually see scenes from it on YouTube, but if you want to see the movie and you buy it, I think it's $6.
Yeah.
To buy. Most of them are $24. So if you buy it for $6 on iTunes, you look at that movie. It has 5.1 sound. It's HD. It looks beautiful. It sounds like a professional movie.
Pause for a second, because when Amber posts this tonight for our YouTube channel, Amber, this is where you'll put the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer.
Insert trailer here.
Hey, let's see the trailer now. Boop.
The United States government spent hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars bailing out the nation's largest and most mismanaged industries. No one could imagine just how far they would go.
You want the United States government to take over a brothel?
Yes, sir.
Are you on some kind of medication?
We're the IRS, and we have an obligation to get the taxpayers of this country what they deserve. Prostitution! Prostitution!
It's official. The government owns a brothel.
Oh, brother.
That's not good. Only bad things are gonna come from that.
Ow! If you say this business is worth more open than closed, convince me. Do you have a business plan?
We have the best business plan in America.
Well, where is this fabulous plan?
Right here.
It's a start.
Congressman, this brothel thing is getting out of control. They're saying you're pro-prostitution.
Pro-prostitution. Oh, mama. Is that good?
What did you do? Is this some sort of Bernie Madoff shit?
You will bring me files, or I will strip the skin from your body.
This is much worse. You got a real tough job.
You want to see my tits?
Hot dog, yeah. I am following the law.
Oh, dear God.
Is prostitution just too big to fail?
I started out as an actress. Oh, but then I got mixed up with the wrong crowd. What crowd was that? This crowd.
Okay, so
That was hilarious.
it starts with, is prostitution too big to fail?
I love it.
So you get out there and you make sure that
Yeah.
that your product, whatever the product may be, comedy, horror movie, whatever it is, looks and most importantly sounds professional. Sound will kill you.
As I watched it this morning,
Good for you.
it struck me, this could be, because it was cute and it was sexy, but it wasn't.
Not dirty.
No, it wasn't dirty.
It's not dirty.
So I thought
It's actually a love story.
it could be this could be a sitcom.
Of course.
So can you use this as a pilot for a sitcom?
Please, I'm trying to make $1 out of it as a movie.
Okay, well, I mean, but wait, you own all the rights.
Give me a
and
minute.
everything.
Give me a minute. I own everything. That's another thing.
God, your publicist isn't here, is he, by any chance?
Yes, he's.
Oh.
I have the best publicist
Oh
in the
my
world.
God. Is he? If there's any
Absolutely.
good publicists in the room tonight, could you raise your hand?
I should say his name. So it's Josh Heller. Can you see him?
Yeah, there's Josh.
He's terrific.
There
He's
he is over there,
terrific.
handsome guy.
But at this point in my life, I'm in my 70th year.
yeah,
And, you wake up in the morning and you realize that Folgers is not the best. It's not the greatest thing about waking up. Not having died in your sleep is the best thing of waking
I
up.
want to find out, where can we find the movie?
You can find the movie on iTunes. Go Sex Tax,
Okay.
and there it is.
Sex Tax is the name of the film.
Yes.
When did you release it?
Last month.
Great.
Wow.
Okay, so it's still fresh. It's still on there.
Yeah. There was a point. Again, I did this about 3 years ago. I had a premiere. Well, not a premiere. A screening. And what I did was, people whenever they do things, they say,
First of all,
"Did you hear some maniac did this?" And they go, "Who did that?"
I love how David makes himself laugh. It's so cute. You are so cute. It's
I
like
think he's
I
having
love
more
it.
conversations than we are privy to.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
part of having. It's part of having 16 personalities.
I was going to say, is there someone else in the room we don't know about?
I actually have 8 personalities, and what's amazing is every one of them has their own addiction.
Hey, that's your next movie. Wow.
He has a whole wing of passages.
But again, if people, and I guess show business people listen to, and I know you've been around a long time.
Yeah, too.
And
Really
God bless
long.
you for that.
Hey, shut up, Andy.
Okay. No, it's important to be around a long time.
Well, but here's what we learn about being in the business a long time is that if you really love the business and you're really passionate about it, as you have been, it's in your blood, and you keep at it. You keep working at stuff. You keep doing things.
It's like any business.
Yeah. And we're really blessed to be in this business in a lot of respects. As tough as it can be, as many nasty people as we've had to deal with in our business.
There are just as many wonderful things that happen and some adorable people you meet.
What's your next project?
Probably on stage. I'll do something on stage.
As a performer?
I've
for you.
done it before. I did a play with, and again, this happens when I was executive producer of Love Boat, which
God,
I did that. I was executive producer of Love Boat, so they bring it back to television, and I was on it the first time. Oh, you want me to wait? I have 1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to be quick.
Yeah.
I was on it. Joanna Kearns fell in love with me on the Love Boat, 1980, whatever it was, and then I can't remember whoever it was. Someone else fell in love with me on another show. They put me on twice. They said, people are going to look at it and they go, well, he's a different name now. Yeah. So, anyway, I did that. I can't remember her name. In any case, when I was writing, and I did Cosby, and I did all these shows, suddenly they were bringing Love Boat back, and they gave me the job as executive producer and head writer. Suddenly, there I am. I'm writing it, and who's directing it? I hire Joanna Kearns.
Oh my God! Yeah.
So it all comes full circle.
It is all full
On the
circle.
Love
It is.
Boat.
It's showing
It
up.
is full circle.
And Dean, how do I do?
David, thank you
Pleasure
very much for
is
being.
so mine.
Sex Tracks. You got to go to
Sex
iTunes.
Sex Tax.
Sex Tax.
iTunes, and you can go to David Lansberg on YouTube and see all the other stuff that I do.
Yeah, and it's great. First of all, it's great having you here. Thank you for joining us.
It's so my pleasure. You have no
Now,
idea.
take good care of yourself, and we want to see you
will.
on stage.
I promise you.
Sex Tax is the name of the film. David Lansberg is our star tonight.
Thank you all so much.
Yeah,
What do we have coming
love
up?
it. Coming up, we're going to talk about The League with Jeff and Jackie Schaefer, executive
Do you know
producers
that,
of that.
if I may, he worked for me.
Oh, my God, I love it.
It all comes full circle.
We'll be right back. Don't go away.